Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Moxie. And this is a film directed by Amy Poehler. She also stars as our main character's mother in the film, but this is directed by Amy Poehler for Netflix. And this focuses on a quieter, more reserved young woman who winds up sparking this feminist revolution at her school by anonymously starting this little magazine and group called Moxie. And she's trying to get all these sexist and inappropriate and judgmental things going on in the school to flip on its head and go the other direction. Because you have this whole group of young women who are involved in this group. Because you have this whole group of young women led by our lead actress, Hadley Robinson, who plays Vivian, this young girl who her mom, Amy Poehler, used to be really spunky and went out there and did stuff and started revolutions when she was a kid, and she's inspired by her mother, but she's quiet. She goes late at night to a copy shop and gets all these copies made, and the guy who runs it is such a, I think it was Frank or something. He's just such a nice guy and so supportive. And it's just like fun little comic relief through the film. But you have this young woman doing this anonymously, but you have like the new girl, Lucy, played by Alicia Pascual-Pena, who's this young woman of color who, right off the bat, gets on the wrong side of the big jock of the school, played by Patrick Schwarzenegger, who is a complete and utter scumbag. And his character there's certain characters in this film that have no nuance at all, and he's just a walking, talking, just cliche of all the horrible possible things you can make a guy character be. And obviously he's a big crux to the story, and he's there for her reason. It's just there's no real subtlety in how his character is put together. But he's really effective because Patrick Schwarzenegger makes him so unlikable. He has a punchable face. You just want to punch him in the face. But there's this list that comes out at the school, and it basically gives a category for everyone. All the young women in the school, and the new girl Lucy winds up getting the C word. And you're just like, and the principal, played by Marcia Gay Harden, who's fantastic at playing antagonistic characters. Just watch The Mist. And she is this old school kind of person that it's all about the rules and putting on a face, and she just leaves these young women out to dry to be harassed because it's like just boys being boys and stuff like that. And their homeroom teacher, Ike Barinholtz, just is really trying to stay away from it because he doesn't want to get involved and he doesn't want to get in trouble for saying something sexist. And you have Lucy, you have Vivian's best friend, played by Lauren Tsai, who's Claudia, and she comes from a very traditional Asian family. She has these pressures not to act out, but she deep down really wants to, and that's one of the more interesting aspects of the film. And then you have Vivian falling for this young man named Seth, played by Nico Haraga, and there's just a lot of moving pieces here. You have the girl who developed early, she can't wear a tank top, but all the other girls can wear tank tops just because she has larger breasts than them. You have the one cheerleader who has a dark secret and seems like she's trying to get involved in the group the whole film. And you have the two soccer players who, like, the one girl gets best booty, and because, like, she's a young woman of color and everybody wants to touch their hair and slap her butt. And you have all these things going on, and you have a young trans woman who people refuse to acknowledge her transition. And you have this group, they're fun, they're charismatic, they're a fun group to follow, and they all have some great moments in terms of this coming of age story. And this film has a lot to say, very obviously a lot to say, but it doesn't always do it in the most subtle ways, and Amy Poehler doesn't always handle the big shifts in tone at some points, because like it gets dark. Especially towards the end of the film, there's some serious things that happen, and you're still kind of caught up in this fun, lovey thing, and I wasn't quite sure how to feel and react to when they dropped this big bombshell, because you're sitting there like, thought I was supposed to be having fun with this movie, and also getting a message, but supposed to be having fun with this movie, and it doesn't quite give that moment as much justice. And there's definitely plenty of moments that feel very like I'm watching a movie, like big elaborate scenes where it's just like I'm watching a movie. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of chemistry between the whole cast, and everybody does a really fine job in their performances. It's just not everybody is the most particularly interesting or have the most depth, or things that they wind up bringing up aren't done in the most subtle and nuanced ways. But in general, I feel like Moxie has a lot of energy, a lot of spark, and spunk. And Amy Poehler definitely brings that to the table with her direction. And the story has enough to say and enough fun characters for us to get past the fact that it doesn't always seem to be clicking at 100%. But in the end, I think Moxie's a film definitely worth checking out because it feels important and very timely, but it's also a fun coming-of-age story with a great young cast. And I would definitely recommend checking this out on Netflix. But those are my thoughts on Moxie. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.